Hello, welcome. Here we are again. Discover Tai Chi for LimbPower. Got a sunny evening here in Yorkshire. So let's get started. You know the rules: seated, standing, move comfortably, do as much or as little as you would like. And by all accounts, there's something going on in the country nationally. But for now, we'll take our minds off that and have a little focus. So, first of all, just nice and settled either in your seat or on your feet. And then we'll start off with Chi Shi. So we're going to be very symmetrical for our opening movements. Very simple. Just to set the scene. Appears to help us calm down by having these very kind of simple symmetrical movements. Not too taxing on the brain. So if you've had a busy day, hopefully this is going to help to be a bit of an antidote. And now we're going to open that movement outwards. Could be a breath in. What's that? And down. Opportunity for a big breath in if that feels good for you. Or just focus on the movement. See if you can always keep a sense of support. Support either from your seat or chair, or if you are standing up with me, via your feet, your legs. Prosthetic ones are included. And from the ground. Always there, ever present. We're going up overhead this time, and then down. You can imagine that every time we bring the hands down, even if not literally, there's a sense of sinking downwards, of getting heavier, of settling. The Chinese word is qian, to settle. And that could also be about our mental, emotional state. It's just settling. A nice image is snowflakes on a calm day, settling quietly. Okay. So if you can, maybe just a little movement from side to side in your chair, on your seat, or on your feet, just to ease any pressure. And then come to a rest once more. We'll do 4 directions. We'll do a couple of variations of this, but we'll stick with the first set, which is to bring the hands up. We're going to push forward very lightly, just directly forward. No effort at all. Let everything relax now. Pick the hands up. We're going out to each side, left and right. Just like that. And then once again, down. Here we go. Up above, pushing up above. And then bring the hands down. And then we sweep the hands over the top. Push down. Gently. Like so. Have, again, just a moment, just to move. Relieve pressure. Rest and settle again in your stance or in your seat. This time we're imagining some resistance, gentle resistance, but resistance nevertheless. So once again, pick the hands up, maybe an in-breath. Push, maybe with an out-breath as you do so. And relax. And if you wish, in breath and an out breath as we push to the sides. Just breathe very naturally as we bring hands into position. Maybe an in breath as we push above against gentle resistance. And out. And then let the hands drop. Sweep them over the top. Maybe another in breath if you wish. And then pushing down with an out breath. Purely optional to do that. But again, it can feel quite nice. And just move naturally. Okay. Second variation. So we're pushing on diagonals up to, that's my left, or up to the right, or down to the left and down to the right. Follow along. I'm going to start with my right hand and we're heading up. So I simply pick this hand up and then push lightly up to my left. And if you turn the hand over and draw it back, you can almost imagine that you're drawing something back towards yourself. Left hand picks up and pushes upwards towards the right. Turn the hand over, draw back, and imagine you draw something back towards you. Now downwards, right hand pushing down diagonally to your left. You can let the hips and shoulders turn and then draw that hand back. Get the idea. Left hand pushing down to the right and then draw that hand back. Simple. Each diagonal, opposite hand to the direction we go up first and then down. Here we go again. Just imagine a little bit more resistance this time. Right hand picks up, pushes up. We can turn the shoulders and hips and then draw back, down. Here we go with the left hand pushing up. Let the shoulders turn and the hips and then draw back. Here we go with the right hand down to the left, pushing, turning the hand over, drawing back. Excellent. Finally, left hand down, pushing, drawing back, like so. Okay, one more go. Breath, again, giving you it as an option. So every time we're lifting a hand ready for it to push in its respective direction, could be a breath in. Every time we push, it's a breath out. So very natural. And then as we return the hand, we just breathe very naturally. Okay, right hand, here we go. Up towards the left, it could be a breath in and then a breath out as we push. You might even wish to do a breath in as you draw the hand back. Here we go with the left hand to push. Could be a breath out as you push. Again, don't force things. Just let the breath fit in where it feels natural for you. Right hand pushing down. Drawing back. And then finally left hand pushing down. And drawing back. And then once again have a walk on the spot. So I like that as a variation in 4 directions. Get some very useful rotation. Bit of a stretch through the shoulders, so works very nicely in my mind. Okay, let's keep with the rotation. Let's do wise out. Turning to the right. Familiar movement. And then to the left. And again, if you wish to bring the breath in, then please do so. Just going in your own time, each side, but nice and slowly. Try not to speed up. If anything, you slow the movement down. Let's go one more to each side. Okay. Okay. So if you sat down, try to have a kind of wider base, kind of get yourself settled in that seat or chair. If you're standing up, try and have a bit of a wider base as well. So this next one, quite dynamic, requires us to have a bit of a bend forward, but how far you go is up to you. As you know, there's no prizes for being a bendy boy or a bendy girl. Okay, so it's not yoga or anything like that where you might be encouraged to find a stretch. Here, I want you to stay within a nice, comfortable range of motion. But we're picking the hands up out to the sides and lifting them up. We're going to come overhead. We're not quite going to touch. And then we're going to turn the hands, drop the palms down. And as we do so, we can have a lean forward and we can drop the hands down. You go as far as you feel. Again, the hands almost touch. And then turn the palms out and we lift up again. So it's a big movement from going right from one extreme at the top and then coming down. And we're basically tracing a big circle with both hands. You go as far as you feel reasonable and comfortable, and nice and slowly. If you're in a chair, you'll have to be mindful of armrests and tables and all sorts of things around you, so just be prepared. That's it. Big open movement, isn't it? Good job. We'll do one more complete lift. And this time we'll just let the hands fall back down from where they came. And then again, just have a bit of a move on the spot. And let's make a return to our little form that we were doing with Chi, wave hands, and then seaweed. You remember our little seaweed sequences? Okay, it's a good opportunity for me to come closer and to sit down and join people who join us seated and watch later. Okay, so we're going to do Chi 3 times. Then we're going to go through wave hands in clouds. And then we'll do our little seaweed sequence. What's that, Phil? It's a little seaweed, a little seaweed movement. Okay, are you ready? Steady, off we go. So nice and slow. 3 of these movements just to set the scene. Nice and relaxed. You can, if you sat down like I am, just let the hands hover above the knees as we lower, or you can just let the hands come to either side if you've got the room to do so. This is the 3rd one. So this time we get the right hand, so right hand on top, left hand underneath. Turn to the right, because that's the hand on top. And we begin to get into our wave hand sequence, turning to the left. See if you can get some weight shift going from one side to the other. Even if you are seated with me, Some weight shift onto each respective hip is very useful, and obviously the same if you are standing. This is the last one to the right, so we're doing 3 total cycles. Doesn't matter really. As we come to the left side, hopefully, we're going to drop that left hand, but it sweeps up. This is where we catch, if you remember, our first little beach ball. And it begins to inflate and push the hands apart. We squeeze it back to its original size and shape. Okay, here's our seaweedy bit. We drop down to the right hip, if you remember. We clear a table or a worktop by sweeping the hands to the left. And then we let the fingers become very relaxed and drop, and we sweep them back up to the right. And then do you remember we do this little circle down and around until the palms come over, and then it's as if we clear a shelf from right to left. We turn the hands over, bring them back, clear that shelf for a second time, and then we catch our second little beach ball, and we have a little repose. So take your time. Could be a breath in, could be a breath out. And now it's left hip. Hands go down to the left. Sweep across our imaginary table or worktop. We're going to pick up from the right and go back up to the left. And we drop the hands down and they circle around. The palms come forwards and we sweep our shelf, this time from left to right. And then back again. And we're going to catch our little beach ball. Here we go again. Third, open and close. As we come back, we want to drop right hand under the left hand on top, and we're back into the cycle of wave hands. Turning to the left first, and now turning to the right. And again, weight shift, rotation, using a turn of a head to guide that movement as well. So, to the left for the last time, to the right. And as we drop that right hand, it's going to brush our imaginary surface, table or worktop. There's our fourth and final beach ball that opens and closes. And then we just let the hands come to a rest either on tops of the legs, or if you're sat down and you've got the scope, down to the sides, just like that. Seaweed. Down. This movement actually isn't called seaweed, although I can't think why, because it's a jolly good term for a movement, seaweed. It gets called various things. It's sometimes called harmony of yin-yang. But somehow I think seaweed is more evocative. Yeah, takes your choice. Harmony of yin and yang or seaweed. Okay, shall we have another little go? Let me stand up and illustrate this stood up. I won't go too far away because the legs really aren't doing much. If you are standing up and you can have a bit of a wider base of support, that gives us more scope to move our body weight from side to side. So if that is comfortable, a bit of a wider stance can be very helpful. Okay, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Chisha. So 3 times. Again, we're not going to be in a hurry. The more we can slow things down, the more the apparent impact, positive impact it has on helping calm down our brain, our heart rate, our blood pressure, all kinds of things. So here we go. Right hand on top. Turning to the right. Again. Get some rotation and some weight shift going from side to side. Try not to be in a hurry. There's a little saying that I picked up when I was learning Tai Chi many years ago. A paradoxical little saying, the slowest is the fastest. So as we come to the left, hopefully, we're going to drop that left hand. We've got our beach ball coming in. So here's our slow motion catch. And then take your time. Let that ball begin to expand. Squeeze back. And then we've got seaweed. To the right, first of all, down to our right hip. Imagine a surface and you sweep that surface clear all the way to the left. Then it's just let the hands be very loose, back up to the right. Here's our little sweep of the hands down and round. Get them ready to now clear that shelf. Sweeping to the left. Turn the hands around, sweeping back. Second beach ball comes into play. Catch it. And open and close. Down to the left hip this time. Sweep across to the right. Picking back up to the left, but with very loose hands and fingers. And then here's this little drop down and round with the hands ready to clear the bookshelf from left to right. You can actually look in that direction and then turn the hands over and sweep them back. Here's our next beach ball. Catch it. Open and close. And we get the left hand on top. Turn to the left for our wave hands. 3 cycles. But again, don't worry. If you end up losing count, the main thing to remember is that we finish on the right side on this journey heading back through the sequence. So I'm heading to the right now. I'm going to finish by dropping that right hand, but then picking it up for our 4th and final beach ball. There it is. Once again, could be a breath in, breath out. And then let the hands relax down and down. If you've got a wider stance like me, you can bring those legs in. Oh, that's a bit better. Can get a bit sore or uncomfortable, so it's one to gauge in terms of how you feel within that prosthetic limb. If you use prosthetic limbs, if there's discomfort, please don't push into pain or discomfort. It's not doing us any favors. We are the no pain group. we don't adhere to any kind of notions of without pain that there's gain. No, we're kind of like, we'd rather live a life of as much ease and comfort as possible. So I hope that's a good philosophy to have a follow. Okay, we need to bring things to a close. So let's again return to those symmetrical movements, closing movements. We can start off by pushing the fingers forward, bringing them up, down. Very simple. Option for a breath in, followed by a breath out each time the hands drop. Free fall. Push forward for a third and final time. Hands out to the sides. Folding upwards. And then down. Three times. Again, breath as an option if you wish. And then our third and final little set as we go up overhead as far as you feel comfortable. Keep everything nice and round and easy and comfortable for you. And do the last one. If you wish, we can finish by linking thumbs or bringing one hand on top of the other, whichever is more comfortable. And then again, we could just rest our eyes and kind of just take a moment. Follow the breath perhaps, or just kind of rest very easy. Enjoy the moment. Bit of peace and quiet, hopefully. And then rest. There's an apocryphal story about a Japanese emperor in the sort of, I think, 50s, 60s. And he had such a busy schedule. And one day, inadvertently, he had a window of opportunity of 10 or 15 minutes in his schedule. And he was in a space and he just stood very quietly. And at the end of that time, even though he had some assistants in attendance, he bowed. And when his assistant asked him why he bowed, he said, because it's rare that I get such an opportunity to enjoy some peace and quiet. And so, there you go. Thought for the day. So yes, apparently there's all kinds of things happening today in the nation. Maybe not conducive to peace and quiet, but some things are out of our hands, aren't they? And sometimes that's a little bit of wisdom to know what we can do and not do in those circumstances. Let me stop the recording.